Hello and welcome to another episode of Threat Update. I'm Kilian Englert, and joining me as usual today is Ryan O'Boyle. Ryan, how's your week going so far?
Hey, Kilian, it's going well, but it's busy.
I understand. So for the audience looking at the title here, and maybe we're following this a little bit, today we had planned to talk about a new variant of Ryuk'ed ransomware that's spreading around now and has self-spreading capabilities. But what we learned about in the lead up as we were preparing to go live is Microsoft had broken some news, and we had made a blog post about some brand new Exchange ZeroDay vulnerabilities. And we wanted to make sure that we got this information out to the audience as soon as possible. So as I mentioned, there's a blog post that Varonis has written, linked in the description below to learn more details. But Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on out there and what we're seeing?
Yeah, sure thing. So Microsoft has released four different zero-day vulnerabilities.
Right.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of information coming out over the next couple of days, and there's a lot of detail in the blog post as well. So we would
Sure.
definitely encourage everybody out there to take a look at that. Just to kind of simplify things a little bit and maybe talk through a sample attack story related to this.
Right.
They might be targeting something like an on-prem Exchange server with open HTTP port 443. You use one of these vulnerabilities to get onto that on-prem Exchange server, and then of course a secondary one allows them to elevate to local system on that server.
Wow.
Which at that point, it's a great intrusion phase. It turns into a little bit more of a traditional on-prem compromise, and once they're elevated to local system on the on-prem Exchange server, they can do a lot of different things. They can dump processes, they can try to harvest credentials, try to move laterally to other servers. So definitely something that we want to make sure that we're patching for out there, and definitely want to have some heightened sense of awareness around those Exchange servers nowadays.
Yeah, that's really scary. And to see this kind of breaking now, we faced so many threats last year and coming into this year. So it's really important, of course, that everybody out there watching definitely checks their Exchange servers and patches as soon as possible, because this is being actively exploited, and I believe it's being actively exploited by a Chinese attack group, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan, is that correct?
Yeah, we've seen a couple reports on that, but I'm sure we'll see others as
Yeah.
well. So again, let's take the precautions that are needed.
Absolutely. And not to forget about ransomware, of course, because it's such a big scourge, and I want to just give it one shout out. Ryan, with this new version of the Ryuk'ed ransomware we're seeing with self-spreading capabilities, it's all the more dangerous at this point that when it gets in, I believe it uses ARP to find additional machines on the local network, and then it tries to spread to them across the network and encrypt more data. If you're facing something like that, or if you're facing a ransomware threat, Ryan, can you give us maybe one kind of solid piece of advice? How would you recommend people react, or what tips and tricks could they use to maybe arrest this before it gets too far?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the past we've talked a lot around open permissions and some of the actual threat detection capabilities and the
Right.
logic behind the models that we're developing. So I think all of that absolutely still applies in this case. However, another thing that I would add is adding some automation to this.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see organizations move into more of the SOAR space, the orchestration and automation platforms. I know here on the Varonis side, we like to say we have some SOAR-like capabilities.
Sure.
We provide you a framework to generate automated responses as a result of an alert triggering. So, especially as we're seeing more and more of these very complex ransomware variants being developed, from the attacker's perspective, they're essentially building the playbook for the full-blown attack, just in a
Right.
single piece of malware. So being able to detect that, end to end, but then also have some sort of automation in place to be able to stop that, if this were to occur off business hours, on the weekend, potentially when we're not checking our email. I think
Right.
that's a very important component as well.
Now that's a great point. Thanks so much. So really, that's the show for everybody today. Thank you all for watching. Ryan, thank you for joining, and I'm glad we were able to get out that breaking news. So if you want to learn more, if if you're running Exchange on-prem, please definitely check out the link that we have to our blog post in the description here. And of course, it lists out the CVs and some of the other information that we've done from our research. It's definitely, of course, critical that you patch. I can't say that enough. And if you have any questions, concerns, we also have some help. So if you are going through it, or concerned about some of these attacks, or maybe attackers are inside your perimeter, you can reach out to someone like Ryan on our IR team. We have a help link in the description below. So thank you all, of course, for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please consider giving us a like on the channel or subscribing. That really helps. Or definitely throw us a comment. We really appreciate reading those from folks. So Ryan, thank you all. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you all for watching. We'll look forward to talking to you again soon.